Hi, and welcome to Drill Bits. I'm Drill.
And I'm Magnificent Matt Brooks.
And welcome. How's you going, mate?
Not bad, not too bad, Drill, how are you?
I'm fucking warm, man. It's too warm,
It's
isn't
too
it?
warm, I need an
It's been raining, but that's took the heat away. If anything, it's brought it.
Certainly not, I'll be sweating tonight, that's for sure.
So, today we're GPW
Yep,
again.
night to remember.
Are you wrestling?
I'm in a tag match team with Ashton Smith against RJM and DDL, which I'm looking forward to.
You've wrestled DDL before, don't you?
I've wrestled both of them before in singles matches, yeah. Both good times. Good. One of them was a more fun match, one of them was a more serious match, but equally as enjoyable. I love I love the character stuff particularly, which kind of led into the storyline with RJM, and then with DDL it was more of just he attacked me during my song that I was doing at the beginning, so so it was both the times. It was really good fun.
See, so you talk about singing.
Mm-hmm.
What is it with the singing? How did that come about? Well, let's rephrase that. How did your singing come about on the gimmick?
So basically, I did my training in America, my initial training, before I came over to GPW. That was 2013, April till July, so it was 3 months intensive course. And I did all the way through. I've always been a fan of character wrestling as much as I love a technical masterpiece in the ring. The thing that always drew me to it as a kid was, the Hulk Hogan's, the Ultimate Warriors, the Hillbilly Jims, the Tugboats, all the big character wrestlers who weren't necessarily had the biggest move repertoire, but they were great to watch, and I love the gimmicks, and they always had something that set them apart. So I used to think, what do I obviously, I love training in the gym and everything, but I thought I need to have something that makes me stand out, makes me different. And then a few years ago, I'd been to a drama school. I only went originally to do acting, but I came out doing singing, and then started opera singing training as a classical singer about 2 or 3 years ago again. No, probably longer than that, about, what year are we now, 2016, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. So straight away I thought, that's it, that's my gimmick, that'll set me apart for sure.
So why did you do opera singing? Why did you choose to do opera singing? Because it's not something every day.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I want to do opera singing, yeah.
It's a funny story actually. We just went to part of the thing we had to do at drama school was we had to do like you had to do like singing, dancing, acting, voice, all these different kinds of things. And we sat, and one of the things we had to do one day was just testing your range, going getting higher and higher. And then all of a sudden, I've always had like a naturally high pitched voice. Irritating, some might call it, but so I just kept going higher and higher. And then the guy who was assessing my voice said, that's really fascinating and rare that you can sing that high without training. So I just had an advice audition at the Royal Northern College of Music where I met my current singing teacher, who's great, and I still go to him like on a regular basis and take my wrestling songs that I'm going to do. So we usually go through the proper song first, and then with my lyrics that I've added to it. And he gets as much into it as I do. He loves helping me out with it creatively and everything, and the character. So straight away I thought, that's what's going to set me apart, and just make sort of an impression. I don't want to go out and just be like, I'm another tough kind of wrestler who wants to have a really good match. I thought I need something that's, and I kind of think that's what's helped me more so than my not that I want to call myself a really rubbish wrestler, but I'm definitely more of a character wrestler. And that's what I think has helped me get do as well as I have within the short time that I've been wrestling in England, really. But yeah, and I just have great fun with it. That's what I want to do. I'm not asked about winning or losing or anything like that. I love going out having good fun and entertaining people. So that's my aim usually.
So reverting back to the original question.
Yeah, which was what made me. So we had to. What about I was got the opera into the wrestling?
And the character and that. Yeah.
So I started doing the opera singing. I had this advice audition, and my singing teacher said, I'd really like you, to help you train your voice and so on. And that was, that was before I'd ever considered going wrestling or anything like that. It was just something I thought, I've always enjoyed musicals, Disney films. I'm a kid that's never grown up really. Some of the Disney villains are the greatest heels in the business. So I thought, right, I'll get into this, I'll have a whale of a time, I'll just enjoy it, I'll have fun. And then, for years I always considered myself like too small, too skinny to do wrestling training and everything. And then one day I went to a PCW show a long time ago, and I really enjoyed it. I was watching it, I thought, I should just give it a go, what the hell, I'll give it a go. And it was, they'd announced that Brian Kendrick and Paul London were going to be on the following month, and Brian Kendrick, a lot of people idolise Brian Danielson, like I'm going to call him. Growing up, I always loved Spanky and Ring of Honor. I thought it was great, I thought he was a brilliant wrestler, and I knew he'd just opened a school, so I thought, liking it like the idiot I am, I'd never taken a bump or anything in my life. This is how I went to the wrestling, and I'll tell you how I combined the two. Yeah. So I thought, right, sure, what the hell, I'll send him an email, and he said, we'll hook up in Preston, we'll have a chat, talk about what he wants to do and so on. And he was absolutely brilliant guy. I met up with him, talked to me at probably 1 in the morning. I bumped into him, he talked to me till about 3:30, something stupid, answered every single question, and I decided, I'm going to just make a massive gamble and go out there to California and do it, and didn't tell my mum, and I'm a mollycoddle kid, me, so I'd never, furthest I'd ever been from home was about London for about a weekend. So my mum said, I told my dad, I sent this email, I was like, oh my god, he's responded, I can't believe it, this guy, I've got an action figure. I was just replying to my email, I was right, little Mark, and I said, so I said to my dad, I said, he's replied, and I said, I'm thinking of going to California. He said, have you told your mum? And I was like, no, I'll tell her, close, like, when I've sort of thought about it a bit more and so on. Dad comes in from work late that day, have you told your mum? And I was like, Dad, no. So then I had to explain everything. My mum was just like, he won't go. And then 4 months later, I'd saved absolutely every penny, worked like 60, 70 hour weeks at work to put all this money away, and I went to California to begin my training. It's a good job I enjoyed it, because I don't know what I would have done if I'd have taken a bump and thought, this isn't for me. But I said, and then again, he was really keen on the character wrestling and so on, this, that and the other. So the first time we came to do promos, a bit similar with GPW really, but I'd explained to him beforehand about wanting to do, my background in singing and this, that and the other, and he thought it was a great idea, and he said, he said it'll make an impression. That's the most important thing. You want to sort of not be asked about, you can do this move, that move, and he said you just want to create a thing where they go, do you remember that guy who sung? And so that's how I combined the two really, awesome. My training there. And then obviously in GPW I came back, straight away wanted to find a wrestling school to keep up my training, emailed Johnny and he got back to me like that, and again I absolutely love training at GPW. And I remember again, for ages, we were just, because I wanted to start I didn't want to start in the advanced class or anything like that, just because I wanted to see how we did things here, because obviously I like to learn everything in different ways and so on. So I didn't do promos for a long time. So of course, when we actually came to eventually do promos and I just started singing, it was, and again, I think that's what, that's why Johnny's got me on shows and everything. Not because I'm the best wrestler in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but just because it makes an impression.
Awesome. So these songs you make, how long does it take you to come up with them?
Well, it depends on the song. Tonight, I don't know if I'm doing my entrance tonight or not. I always have my music with me, I'm back in music, and tonight it's Any Dream Will Do from Joseph. So I've usually, it usually will happen where I'll just have a song on my MP3 player, or I'll be watching a show or something, I'll think, that's a good one, what lyrics can I put to that, and I'll usually try and fit my opponent's names and so on. So it's kind of, Cyanide said to me, I kind of make it, I get pretty nervous before wrestling, not only because of the wrestling, but I've got to remember the match and the song when I'm going out there, and I think, don't screw up the lyrics. But they probably take me, this one is one of, what I used to always do when we used to do promo class in training at GPW. I used to prepare a promo each week, so a new song. So then, because I've got a bit of a back catalogue of them, I can sort of tweak the lyrics a little bit to make them sort of really about the match. Yeah. I've done the Circle of Life one, Pro Wrestling for You, last Friday, and I've done that here as well before, but with not totally different lyrics, but lyrics to fit the situation that I'm in, whether my face, a heel, who I'm working with, and so on. So I make it, I try and make it as relevant to the match as possible. I don't just want to come in and be like, here's another Journey, so I don't want it to be really rubbish. So I try and make it as entertaining. That's what I want it to be at the end of the day. I want it to get a good reaction and everything. So, yeah.
Awesome. So why would you want to go all the way to America? Obviously you said because there's the guys taking it, you have mine, but why go all the way to America?
I think part of it is because, whenever I do anything, and this is just me personally, I like to sort of just immerse myself in it. So like, and I know what my memory's like sometimes. Like, I know if I went to GPW every Sunday, I wouldn't necessarily remember. You know, it'd take me a lot longer for it to log away and store away. So I thought, right, I want to go. You know, Brian Kennedy, this is a guy who's done it all around the world. He's well travelled, and not only that, but obviously, you know, he's got his action figure. You know, he was one of my favourites growing up as a kid. So for me, it was just the best thing to absolutely work my balls off, save X amount of money to go, and then just absolutely, because when I was in America for 3 months, I didn't have a job there, I just saved all this money so I could just literally devote myself to it. And I have like a little book that I still write things in now when we do anything new at GPW, you know, new reversals or something or whatever, and I write it down so it stays logged away, or, you know, I can look back and think, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I just wanted to, and it was kind of, because there was only a few of us on the course at the time. I know his school's grown quite a bit now, but at the time there was 3 of us in this course, and it was sometimes 3 to 6 hours a day, 3 to 4 times a week. So it was really intensive. You know, every day I was going home like, oh, I'm so sore, I'm so like beaten and banged up, but it was great as well, you know, because I mean it helped that it was in California as well. It was nice to come out and just sit in the jacuzzi and be like, oh, and obviously, and I absolutely love America. You know, I go to America all the time. So for me, it was like it was a dream. It was easily the best 3 months of my life, but it was a dream scenario because I was getting to do this wrestling. Also, I was getting to just go and watch all this different wrestling in California and experience all these things, meet all these people. It was great. So I really wanted to get the most sort of, and it was great as well because then when I came back to GPW, I still feel as, you know, I didn't come in and think, oh, I'm trying to remain Kendrick, you know, I'm the best in the world. I wanted to train and get as much, you know, because as much information as you can get from anyone, as much training as you can get from anywhere. So I learned all the basics, obviously, of bumping and so on and rolling in Brian Kendrick's school, and then I came back and then GPW taught me even more of like, because there's totally different styles just between Britain and America, you know, and so many, and like, you know, Johnny's been trained by Geraldine, I think it is, and you know, he's worked with so many different people, and Brian's worked in Japan, and you know, so you just get all this stuff molded into one, and you're always learning, you know, it really is, I love the craft of wrestling, it's great.
So how can I word this? So what are the difference between the styles from England and America?
Oh, good question. I'm by no means an expert, you know, on either, but I'd just say from my experience that, what can I say? Well, when we went to America, there was a bit more of a blend of, because obviously, and California's pretty close to Mexico, so they get a lot of that in there, the Mexican stuff. And Brian's been to Japan, so we got a bit. So with him, it wasn't just necessarily the American style. We got a bit of everything. Because I remember, like, he was one of the things we did, and I knew this would happen. Like, he went to the best, and it was great. It was great fun. But when he went to the best of the Super Juniors in Japan, Joey Ryan took training for a bit, so he was really into his character wrestling and so on. And then when Brian came back, I thought, I bet he's going to have us working. And sure enough, like, we were there, tops off, chopping each other non-stop for 3 minutes, just like, you know, like really stunt style Japanese strikes and things. And I was like, great. But it was still, you know, it was great to do that kind of training. Whereas in England, it's much more, for me, the thing I got more from England, and it might just be the fact that because I was still learning the basics in America, I wasn't necessarily receptive to it, but the mat-based style, you know, the hold-to-hold, and just the really finite things, like I love it when Jack Gallagher comes to train us and he's like, you know, just the slight little tweaks and things you can do to make all the difference. I think they're really, but I guess that comes with experience as well. Like the more you do, the more you can fine tune everything and make it really, you know, the accuracy of everything to be really precise and pristine. Which I'm still obviously getting the hang of because I've not been doing it that long. But you know, there's some great people. Again, in GPW, whenever we have our people like Jack come in or any of the other former trainers or the guys who work on the shows here, like. I've sat many times with DDL and Cyanide and RJM and all these guys, and they're happy to give advice all the time, and it's great to get that kind of feedback from them. And they sort of, going on about styles again, they each have their own style. Like British wrestling now isn't necessarily, you know, it has a lot more of the American side in it than it used to do when it was World of Sport. But you get that kind of, you know, everyone brings their own experience and their own, and even if like Cyanide, you know, I'm never going to wrestle the same style as Cyanide because he's a big man and I'm like, you know, I'm only little. But he'll offer me advice like based on me and based on my character, and just, you know, he said like when with my singing and stuff, he said use that as much as you can, because then the more you can do sort of character-wise, not necessarily the less you have to do in the ring, but you don't have to play. You can keep it safe as well at the same time and have some longevity to your life and career in wrestling.
Awesome.
So I'm So they all give great advice. They really do.
Cool. Okay, let's move on a little bit then.
Yeah, go on.
That bit.
Yeah.
So, how many wrestling companies do you wrestle for?
I've wrestled in America a couple of times. That was for Brian Kendrick's promotion, which is Wrestling Pro Wrestling. That was the first one was when I made my debut, and I was teamed with. I know it's two guys who wrestle locally in England. Patrick Sutty and Ross. I'm just trying to remember. Leonardo Darwin, that's Patrick's ring name, and Ross is the Muscle Cat Saxon Huxley. And so it was Independence Day weekend, and we were obviously three Brits, so we were natural heels. I managed to get a Union Jack flag in America of all places. So as soon as we came out with that flag on Independence Day weekend, it was instant heat, and it was a comedy match. It was definitely just a character-based match. The guys we were working with had lightsabers and things, but it was a really good laugh. That was my first match, and the second time I went back, it was a much more. I was working with a guy, the Santino brothers. They run a school in the same facility as Brian Kendrick, and I was wrestling a great guy called Robbie Phoenix, one of the tutors there, and he was absolutely brilliant. And we planned that match because he was helping with the training and stuff as well. We sort of did. We came up with a few spots a few days in advance, so I'm there wrestling around my bedroom with myself in my motel. But it was a totally different kind of match to the way sort of we do over here. It was kind of a lot less character and a lot more, just bang, 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 and it was boiling as well with no aircon. So at the end of it, I was felt like I'd run a marathon. But then over here, I wrestle for obviously GPW. That's my, that's where my roots are. That's where I started over here. And then I've recently, where did I do in Sheffield? Elite British Wrestling. That was great. I did that over Christmas. A guy from America brought me down there, actually, Jim Shelley, and he's great. He's helped me a lot with my wrestling, my gear and everything. And then I have wrestled for Pro Wrestling for You, which is where I've most recently made my debut. Awesome. 2 shows there, and every place I've wrestled actually has had a really good. I've got nothing bad to say about any of them, and I'm not just saying that because I'm like, please book me again. But they really, great family entertainment, good family atmosphere, and everything. It always, it's always really good fun, which is what I'm there to have, really.
Right. So which has been the best show you've been on so far then?
Oh, good question. The best show I've been on so far? My personal favourite, not because it was my best match, but just because it was the most fun I probably had, was a match I had with, the one that stands out with me. There's a few actually, but one of them is one of my match I had with Chris Ridgway in December of last year. Partly because I was supposed to be a heel, but I came out singing Let It Go from Frozen, Steal the Show as my version was called, and it just got great. And we had some really good fun in the match, he's singing and chopping me, and it was just a really good fun match. And it wasn't like a catch can classic, but it was really good fun. And then another really good match I enjoyed was my triple threat match with Alex Jones Casey and Jumping Jimmy Jackson. And that was great fun just because, again, Alex is such a natural heel and really, again, similar, really entertaining character-based wrestling. That's the kind of match I love to have. I mean, last month I had a match, it was a much more serious feud with RJM, and that was a brilliant match. For me, it was a totally different kind of match than I'm used to having, and it was a lot to remember and so on. But again, I was just grateful for the opportunity of working with someone like RJM, in this big rivalry that we sort of built over a few months. So there's a few really. I couldn't really pick one off the top of my head. I'd really struggle. I really struggled to pick one off the top of my head.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
What's with the hair?
What's with the hair? It's my again something that I think makes me stand out.
Okay.
Is I've always had it's like my mum, she'll be at the show tonight, no doubt, bloody cheering and screaming when I get hit and everything. But she's got the exact same hair as me, massive thick curly hair. It just makes an impression, it makes me stand out. I think that's, and it goes with the gimmick as well, especially when I'm a heel and I can be overly flamboyant and stuff with it. It fits in, it does.
Where do you see yourself in the next few years?
Oh, good question again.
Or what do you hope to be?
As far as wrestling goes, no, I'm joking. I'd like to, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Holding those world titles up, brother. But no, I'd like to. I really don't know. The thing with wrestling for me is, I try not to. I really, at the minute, I'm just having great fun and enjoying it. And so far, like I think I'm on a show there's a new company starting up in Cheshire, later this year in October, and I've been booked for there.
Awesome.
So I'm just getting, like at the minute, I'm just there to have fun and have a great time and enjoy it and do whatever I can. So don't get me wrong, I do like setting myself goals as I'd like to be here, I'd like to do this.
Give your mini goals.
Yeah, so I have my mini goals of like I've had this great feud with RJM, and then I've managed to get booked. Like this year I said to myself I'd like to get booked for 3 different promotions at least in the year, and I already have now with that one coming up in October because I've got GPW Pro Wrestling for You and the Pro Wrestling Legion, I think it's going to be called. So there's a few, so I've kind of already met them, but I kind of take it as it comes, and then obviously if things got really stagnant I'd be like, right, let's put myself out there a bit more and so on, but because I'm only just I only made my UK debut just over a year ago now, so I'm really happy to be afforded the opportunities that I've had so far, and I just want to hopefully keep the momentum rolling, and just keep having fun. That's what I love wrestling, and I just love entertaining. I'm not, and like as I always say this, I'm not bothered whether I win or lose. I'm happy to lose as long as I get to go out and have fun and do my stuff, and I don't mean doing my stuff as in get as many moves as I can, but just have have a whale of a time and have a blast doing it. That's all that matters to me. So as long as I can keep enjoying it, that's I'm happy with that. Yeah. So yeah, I don't like to set too much, too many specific goals. Obviously, I'd like to wrestle for a few more companies, get my name out there a bit more, work with some, I've worked with some big names already, but just keep in that thing, working with great people.
Awesome. Right, let's round this up because we're getting close to finishing time.
Yeah.
As we call it. Alright, last few questions.
Yeah.
I think we've given a lot of information.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more questions I could ask you, but we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So here we go. Best match you've ever seen?
Oh, personally, Hulk Hogan and the Rock WrestleMania 18 because I was a massive Hulkamaniac. Followed by a lot of stuff that Shawn Michaels has done, and I learned again like as a little mark. I love Brian Kendrick's Ring of Honor stuff.
Awesome. Best match you've ever been in?
Oh, again, I couldn't. Off the top of my head, the most fun match I've ever been in, Chris Ridgway, probably the best hold-to-hold one was the one in California.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can't go on.
Who's your favourite wrestler?
Oh, a few different ones. Hulk Hogan, Brian Kendrick. I loved Big Show as a kid. I love the Natural Disasters. I love, I like all shapes and sizes. But a few different,
What would be your dream match?
Right, this is...
Ever, dead or alive?
Oh, right, okay. Good.
Pretend everyone's alive.
Right, okay. Well, in England, I'd love to work with... well, I've already worked with Joey Hayes, but like a singles competition, I'd love to do that. Brian Kendrick, definitely. I'd love to face him training and have that match. I'd love to face Hulk Hogan as a heel and just get totally squashed by him. And I'd love to face, again, Shawn Michaels, them kind of guys, who I've just idolised growing up. That'd be obviously a dream scenario.
Awesome. Who would be your dream tag team partner?
Oh. Again, I'd love to see with the guy who trained with Brian Kendrick, but someone who I always have an absolute blast working with is Alex Jones Casey. I absolutely.
Really out to work with
not even just because I think we're such stupid, caricature heels. So if it was realistic, I'd love to team with him. As in, just locally. But yeah, in the world, good grief, there's loads of people I'd love to team with.
Yeah. Any particular? Just give me 3.
So definitely Brian Kendrick. I'm going to say Alex Jones Casey just so I can put him over. And who else would I like to team with? I don't know. I couldn't say off the top of my head. Someone like Hogan, just so I can do like the Hogan and Edge thing.
Awesome.
I love teaming with Hamish as well down in Pro Wrestling for You. We have an absolute. When we got put together at first, I thought that's a weird tag team and pairing, but the chemistry we've had so far is great. I love it.
Which do you prefer, WWE or WCW?
Oh.
This is a new question.
Yeah, this is a good question. This is a really good question. So back in the day. Well, that's even harder because I was going to say I preferred WCW even though it was chaos to WWE now. But back then, I've been watching a lot of Raws and SmackDowns from 2001 recently, but I loved the end. You could literally choose a year, and I'd say, my favourite that year was WCW, but my favourite in 2001, well, 2001 was when WWF won, but I really wouldn't, it'd literally be down to the specific period you said, I'd go WWF or no WCW. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Awesome. Last question.
Yeah.
Most important. What advice would you give to anybody who's looking to start training or has just started?
Well, I'm pretty new to it, so don't just take my words with a pinch of salt. But at the same time, try and set yourself apart from everyone else. Train. That was one of the best bits of advice Brian Kendrick gave me. Was that unless you're built like an earthquake or Yokozuna or them kind of guys, or Cyanide, these big guys who are great, and I love big guys. I think we don't have enough of them. All wrestling at the minute, but. It's you have to. If you're only like me, I'm only like 5'8.5", and I'm only like 180 pounds, somewhere around there. I've got to train, I've got to look the part, kind of thing, and have something that sets you apart, and just attend as much training as you can, like as much, whether it's wrestling training, gym training, seminars. Just feed as much, think as much about your character as you do about your moves, and just try and bring everything you have to the table, you personally, that sets you apart differently from everyone else. That's probably what I'd say in a nutshell, and listen to everyone that you can, anyone that again, I've just said DDL, Joey Hayes, all these guys at GPW, they've given me good advice, and it means, as long as you take it on board and you're receptive to everything, take constructive criticism as well, take the praise, take all of it, and just try and feed that into your next match, into your next performance.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add?
This is where I'm supposed to say follow me and blah blah blah. I've got a Twitter account that I only just started for my character, Opera Matt B. I'm on Facebook, Matthew Brooks. I've not created an athlete page yet. I'm pretty rubbish with social media. And I'm on Instagram.
You need more.
I know, yeah. I should do it more.
I get bored.
I know. I should do it though, because everyone keeps saying, get yourself on, on this, that, and the other. And I'm just rubbish at it. And I'm on Instagram. I think it's Magnificent Matt B on Instagram.
Awesome.
I think that's everything.
Is that everything?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Joe.
Nothing else?
No, that's everything.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope everyone enjoyed.
I'm Drill.
I'm Magnificent Matt Brooks.
Thanks for watching. Catch you down the road.